if you look at the statistics, about 70% of physicians are employed in this country nowadays, and I think that's going to get worse. Well, better or worse, however way you want to describe it, but there's a huge consolidative effort in this country now. So there's also, at the same time that there's this consolidation effort, there's this huge increase in the federal deficit, which is putting downward pressure on reimbursement from the federal government, and also a downward pressure on volumes. So I think one of my emphases is going to be, how do you survive the storm? What kind of things can you do now in order to survive, over the next 10 years? I mean, I don't know if I'll be working 10 years from now, but the field is strong and everybody else will be working. But, it used to be epidural, 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 facet, facet, facet. And in the last 5 years, there are more options open to people than in the prior 50. So if you're asleep at the switch and you're not learning newer technologies, you could drown. So I think that's my biggest emphasis, how to stay positive, maintain your idealism when you're seeing patients, and learn everything that you can. Come to meetings, communicate, collaborate. Communication is extremely important. People tend to get into their own little islands and not want to discuss and try to fight the insurance companies and the federal government on their own. And it's very difficult to do that. I think you need to be proactive, and you need to unite and fight them together. Over the past 3 years, there's been several initiatives spearheaded by the federal government, starting in 2020, all the way till actually December 5th of this year. There's brand new guidelines for epidural blocks, which is, I think, got everybody up in a tizzy at this point. So there's going to be a lot of different workflow changes. But the bottom line is the federal government and all the insurance companies, which are going to piggyback onto that, want you to do less procedures. And I think it's because they don't have the money. We're looking at a Medicare funding gap in 2026 where they don't have enough money to pay their bills. So there's some serious issues going on right now, and I think that whole regulatory climate, downward pressure climate, is going to worsen over the next 5 to 10 years. So we have to figure out ways to circumvent that, and that's what the gist of my talk is. I mean, I run one of the largest practices probably in the country right now, and I think they just wanted me to talk because I've been doing it for over 30 years, and I have a good track record. I think Sudhir Dewan wanted me to talk on this because he knew me, I've known Sudhir for years now. He's a great guy. It's a lot of research, though, because there's a lot of stuff that you have to. There's so many moving parts to the way reimbursement works, from the federal government trickling down to local payers and stuff like that. So it's an interesting topic.